Do we want to really be true to ourselves? And do we really want to be true to our calling here as senators? And the reason why I ask that is very simple, Mr. President. I have been here for a very long time. And for each session I've been here, we have had security summits. Each session. In fact, the last one, we were part of setting it up, and then we did everything. At the end of the day, nothing came out of it. So, there is no one of us here who does not know what is going on in his area. Do we want to be true and fair and say the truth about what is happening in this country? If we want to be true to ourselves, then we can go ahead with a summit, then we can deal with this matter. But if we're just going to stand up here to now make statements so that people will see us on television, then I want to profound, Mr. President, that we will just end up doing exactly what we have been doing, make statements, and nothing will come out of it. I so submit.
If security is the only thing this National Assembly will achieve, then it is all will go home and dry. Mr. President, 2 years down the line, what can we say is our achievement as a parliament? How many times, Mr. President, have we interrogated committees on defense, committees on navy, committee on Air Force, committee on police, committee on national security? These are committees that set out to achieve what the Constitution says we should achieve. Over the last 2 years, and you recall, Mr. President, too, when we were screening the service chiefs, here we raised a question, one of the questions that was raised to the Chief of Air Staff, where is our Tucano? Where is our Tucano aircraft? Fighter jets. And you also recall, this Tucano was purchased by no less than $1 billion borrowed. And the answer given to the Parliament by the Chief of Air Staff was, Tucano is in our domain, but we can no longer use Tucano because they have signed a contract which limited the operations of this Tucano. If you know ab initio that this Tucano has limitations, inhibition for usage, why in the first instance did you buy them? How much did you buy them? Who ordered the contract? Who did the procurement? Where are the Tucanos physically? Mr. President, we cannot, we're having a divided
The two Senator, you are protected.
Thank you, sir. Mr. President, this issue of security is troubling. And day in, day out, we are losing our servicemen to this insurgent. Day in, day out, all across this country. It is not one state or the other. It is almost all the 36 states of the Federation. And I'm not going to stand up and claim that the President is doing his best. The only time that we can say the President is doing his best is when we interrogate the implementation of the 2023 appropriation, the implementation of the 2024 appropriation as it pertains to security. You recall, Mr. President, the National Security Advisor was invited last year, and he came forward and told us, point blank, that not enough appropriation was released to the security apparatus. We are here in a very comfortable confines of Abuja, but I can tell you, in a very short time, I'm not a pessimist, in a very short time, if care is not taken, these bandits that are running towns and villages in Benue, in Zamfara, in Sokoto, in Kebbi, are gradually moving into the close neighborhood of this city. Today, Mr. President, I can confirm to you authoritatively that you can no longer go to Kwali, go to Kubwa, and these suburbs beyond 9 to 10 o'clock in the evening because of fear of being taken away. And therefore, consequently, it is important, Mr. President, to acknowledge if we continue to keep on doing things without result and keep on doing them, we are not only deceiving ourselves, we are deceiving the people that sent us here to represent them. I am not sure whether the solutions has to do with creating a summit. First, Mr. President, we must be able to interrogate our committees in a session where the executive to come forward and inform us what goes into their budget 2023, 2024, 2025, and what comes out into the implementation of the budget. Secondly, I do not think it will be fair to the security chiefs if we just go ahead and do a security summit. We must interrogate them one by one, subjecting them to the findings of the appropriate standing committees. Committees are created to serve as liaison to the Senate. As a committee, you don't need to have an information and you sit on it. Sitting on it will not give you any desired effect. Once you have security reports and the security architecture of this country, you could visibly see they are getting overwhelmed. Lastly, Mr. President, in the course of the interrogation, let's find how many number of military personnel do you have? How many are in the Air Force? How many are in the Navy? How many are in the Army? How many are in the police? How many are in the Office of National Security Officer? How many are in the NIA? And so on and so forth. We can't sit down and begin to believe that when we speak big grammar, it will solve the problem. It is much, much more than that. And Mr. President, like I said, during the speech, your speech on the second session of the 10th Senate, the second session of the 10th Senate, this is a matter that you must lead. This is a matter that you must personally lead. It is not just enough to assign these responsibilities to committee chairman, because I don't like to assume that this committee chairman failed. But I would like to believe we have not called these committees to action, interrogate them, to be able to find out what are they actually doing. And not only all this security committee, every committee, it is the responsibility of the leadership, of course, under the leadership of this Senate leader, to interrogate committees. What do we do? What are we doing? What are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? And then the chamber will also contribute. I believe speaking in this manner, in plenary like this, is not going to bring any solution. And I believe the points raised by Senator Jumo, they're apt, they're germane. But I believe Security Summit is not the solution. It's much, much, much more than that. We need to do our homework. We need to bring data. We need to go to see the president with that data. Lastly, sir, it makes people a lot of wonder about so many things going under the leadership of the security support. I'm not questioning their integrity, but But I believe the servicemen are not getting their due protection, their due appreciation. They are not getting their due. They are not being paid back. And you see, in the last 20 months, we have lost almost 520 service chiefs, all servicemen, all across our armed forces. For how long can we continue to lose them? And the thousands of people, thousands of Nigerians that have been kidnapped on a daily basis. It is no longer any issue. People come to house and they'll just kidnap you. And when you pay, they release you. And nothing has ever happened because the security servicemen are incapacitated. They are handicapped. Finally, last week on my way out of Lagos, I met someone who told me there is a possible invasion of Mahmudawa, a security outfit, all the way from Mauritania, and they are getting into Kwara and Oyo, and they are beginning to settle down there. Today, sir, the entire suburbs of this city called FCT is surrounded by illegal miners. And you remember what put Zamfara at the core terrorist streaking area is mining. The entire gap between Abuja and Lokoja has been taken over by illegal mining. And they do it openly, clearly openly, and nobody questions them. And people are busy buying plots between here and Kuje and Lokoja, just because we were told there are mineral deposits there. And therefore, the business has opened. And when you open that kind of business, make no doubt about that, the entire populace of this city is at risk. I shall submit, Mr. President.
Distinguished colleagues, if you notice the issue.
What is before us here now is whether we should convoke the National Security Summit. And Mr. President, if you ask me, I will say the answer is yes. Because, Mr. President, security is everybody's business. And these security challenges occur in various parts of Nigeria in various dimensions. It has become increasingly compelling, therefore, Mr. President, that in providing security solutions to our security challenges, there is no one-size-fits-all. And so, every day you read in the social media, senators are held responsible for insecurity in their various domains. Some out of lack of understanding, some out of mischief. Governors are held responsible, Mr. President is held responsible, yet every day we find activities within the Senate here challenging the challenges of insecurity. And so, Mr. President, that we have provided solutions in the past and they have not worked or they have not been implemented will not stop us from providing solutions. On several occasions in this Senate, in the 9th and 10th, solutions have been proffered, resolutions have been passed here on the need to rejig our security architecture. And so, now that we are confronted with this hydra-headed insecurity, because in my constituency, Mr. President, almost every day, almost on a daily basis, buses are seized, drivers are killed, especially in Otukbo, and passengers are abducted, or they walk into somebody's house, retired immigration officer's house, and kill him. So now, it's becoming very scary that even in your homes, within my constituency now, by 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, you must lock up your place. And so, sir, I think that now that we have attempted various forms in terms of solutions, and they have not given the desired results. There is nothing that stops us from continuing to explore all means of bringing this insecurity to a halt. And I think that a conference, a summit, where all Nigerians that have interest, all Nigerians that know how, will come and offer their own expertise and knowledge, will be an appropriate thing for this Senate to do now, at least for the image of the Senate. Let us do what we are expected to do. Convoke a summit, profile solutions, give these solutions to the executive by way of resolution of the Senate, by the executive. I think that way we'll be moving towards finding solution to the problems of insecurity in our country. Thank you, Mr. President.
So is anybody